Well, the good news is we're $500 richer than we were a minute ago. So thank you very much. Every single day, somebody that I don't even know, somebody I have never met before, walks up to me and says, "You are doing a great job. We are behind you 100%, and you keep doing what you're doing." And the way, yeah. I want to also thank those listed members of the Saratoga Springs Democratic Committee who offer their support of this event, and obviously their support of my campaign. These are the true progressives in Saratoga Springs. These are the people that stood up over 2 years ago and said, "We're not doing this anymore. We have a vision for our city, and we don't like the way that you're going about taking our city into a direction that we don't want to go. We are the people that are going to grab hold of this. We're going to find a candidate that we can support, and whether or not that candidate wins, we have values, we have principles, and we're not going to put up with this anymore. And here we are, and we're going to do it again." But we all know that politics is local, and we are here tonight to raise our voices as concerned citizens of Saratoga Springs that we understand our city is at risk of losing its identity. We all know and understand what needs to be done, and it will be done, but it will be so much more easy if we are all in this and doing the hard work together. At issue, how to balance smart and inevitable growth with maintaining our character, our charm, and that small town feeling, and even that rural atmosphere that contributes greatly to our quality of life. How do we provide affordable housing for young families, senior citizens, and the very workers that are the fabric of a thriving community such as ours, in a climate where market forces do not empathize with the needs of the less than wealthy? Hear, hear. And once we train and educate our children, how do we keep them in this area where the salaries are not always commensurate with their educational training and the cost of living is prohibitive? The dialogue must be honest, mutual, and determined. There cannot be any longer tolerance for cronyism, deal-making for money interests, and backroom politicking. For almost a year, I sat on the ad hoc committee for the future of racing as a voice for the preservation of Saratoga Racecourse. And I continue to advocate for the preservation of our racetrack while insisting on needed improvements to the backstretch and for the revitalization and protection of the thoroughbred horse racing industry throughout the state. I have placed new members on our 3 land use boards who share my concerns about rapid growth without proper planning. The future is now. And if we do not address critical issues surrounding development now, much of what we value will be lost forever. I have embraced energy and environmental issues and attitudes and pushed forth with an agenda that we must demand from all governments and private enterprises. And I will continue to push for legislation that demonstrates that commitment. Passing the U.S. Conference of Mayors Climate Protection Agreement was a good beginning. Last year, I brought to the attention of our City Council the intentional exclusion of Saratoga Springs from the sharing of the VLT revenue. And I lobbied successfully. Yes, I did. I lobbied successfully. To win $3.8 million of brand new monies this year to our city. Wow. I closed a development loophole that allowed density bonuses for high-end condos and townhouses under the guise of being senior citizen housing. Once we realized what was happening, we slapped the appropriate income qualifier down and said, no more. If you're going to get a bonus for building senior housing, then by golly, it needs to be affordable for senior citizens. I brought to the table a brand new revenue source for the sole benefit of recreation in our city. Once again, the developers were getting away with building scores of luxury condos under one footprint and only having to pay the one recreation fee. For example, developers who were building 10 condos had only to pay $1,500 once, while another developer who built 10 single-family homes, often selling less than those condos, had to pay $1,500 10 times. Not fair, and I corrected it. We now have a new dedicated stream of money which can be used solely for the purpose of supporting recreation, and I believe that dedicated source should go to the new indoor recreation facility. I initiated a comprehensive review process to address real issues, such as the long-standing past practice of spot zoning to meet the desires of developers and some property owners while discounting the long-range vision of our city. We cannot let our guard down. The money interests are hungry to eat up our natural environments, and they will do it against the will of the people. And if my primary opponent were to have his way, the forest on Brook Road would right now be torn down and the money interests would once again have prevailed. We cannot let that happen. And I have advocated for greater fiscal discipline and accountability on all fronts. I called for an audit of city financial operations, and the Comptroller's Office agreed. We will see what that audit result brings, and we will insist on acting accordingly. We cannot continue to lay the burden of manning government solely on the backs of taxpayers. Government needs to take a hard look at how we are conducting business and how we are spending your money. I've advocated for senior citizens and continued bus services to the places where they live. I have brought new hope and interest in the political process to a population that had previously felt disenfranchised and ignored by their local officials. I will continue to endure the wrath of the wretched, but with your help, I have looked into the eyes of these people one too many times. They are wretched. If we stick together, folks, our children will once again be able to move back to Saratoga Springs and call it their home. I've restructured our planning department, bringing in new and energetic people and ideas and saving tax dollars at the same time. I have fulfilled a long-standing campaign promise to put in place the Administrator of Parks, Open Lands, and Historic Preservation. And I found, I believe, the most qualified person in the state to fill that spot, Lou Batten. And while I have supported using Saratoga Lake as a new water source, unlike others, I have reached out to our residents living around the lake to listen to their concerns about how such a project will affect their lives. And I have called for the disclosure of realistic cost information to be put into our capital budget. We have also saved thousands of dollars in legal costs by managing more of our legal issues in-house and demanding greater restraint from all departments and all commissioners. We have a long way to go. But I, unlike my primary opponent, will be a bulldog when it comes to challenging irresponsible, deleterious, and risky behaviors that in the past have proven to be very costly to the taxpayers. How can my opponent defend the best interests of the taxpayers when he is holding hands with the worst of these offenders? The answer is he cannot and he will not. I am not working for the developers' interests, although I am not necessarily working against those interests. I am not working for the big money interests, although I realize we need those interests to keep our city thriving. And I am not working for my own self-interests. I had a perfectly happy life before I was mayor. But I truly and absolutely am the people's mayor. And I want to continue to be the people's mayor. But I need your help. We need your help. We need you to write letters to the papers declaring your support for honest, good government and for my re-election. We need you to tell your friends and your coworkers, and I know I'm repeating myself, how crucial this election is. We need you to give us your financial, your mental, and your physical support so that we can win this election and win it big. That is the message and that is the mandate that we need to keep doing what we're doing. We will not go backwards and we will not stand still. I am the only candidate who has the courage and the will to take us forward to the place where we need to be. We will get this done together, and we will be stronger and better for having done so. Thank you so much.